Disney's 2012 film John Carter was set to launch a trilogy, but the sequels never materialized. Fast forward to now, and Disney is eyeing a reboot, aiming to finally turn Edgar Rice Burroughs' Martian sci-fi adventure into a successful franchise. To add some extra buzz, there are even rumors that Christopher Nolan might get involved, which could bring a whole new level of excitement to the project. So here's the scoop on what John Carter 2 and John Carter 3 might have looked like if they'd actually happened, and what's happening with the John Carter reboot at Disney. With Andrew Stanton of Toy Story fame at the helm, Disney's John Carter adapts Edgar Rice Burroughs' pulpy sci-fi novel, A Princess of Mars. The film does a stellar job of creating a rich, mythology-filled interstellar world where a cosmic conflict sets the stage for romantic twists and exciting CGI action scenes. John Carter follows a Civil War veteran who ends up mysteriously on Mars. As he navigates the planet's barren landscapes, he encounters bizarre creatures and discovers he can defy Mars's gravity, making incredible leaps. The original novels have enough material for at least 2 more sequels, and the 2012 film ended on a tantalizing cliffhanger. Despite Stanton's plans for a trilogy, the sequels never materialized. Given its potential, it's hard not to wonder what went wrong with Disney's John Carter. Andrew Stanton spilled the beans to Collider that John Carter 2 was going to be called Gods of Mars. In this sequel, Lynn Collins' Deja would have kicked things off by narrating the prologue to their son Carthoris, whom she fears will never meet his dad, John Carter. Things quickly take a dark turn when Ciarán Hinds' Tardos Mors swoops in to take Carthoris, only to reveal himself as the shape-shifting villain Matai Shang, played by Mark Strong. He kidnaps the kid and vanishes, and that's when the movie's opening credits roll, picking up where the first film left off, John Carter's return to Barsoom. The climax of Gods of Mars sees Carter, Deja, and their son finally coming together, while the 3 Martian races, the Red, the Green, and the Firstborn, unite to take down the tensions. After a decade away, Carter learns that Deja has been searching for their son along the river, which she hopes will lead her to him. Teaming up with Tars Tarkas, Carter discovers a modern underground city ruled by the Firstborn, who have been controlling everything on Mars under the guise of goddess Isis. Carter sets out to expose Matai Shang's true identity to the Firstborns and rescue his son. The story reaches its peak when Carter nearly kills his son, who has been genetically modified into a superhuman warrior. In the end, the family is reunited and the Martian races come together to defeat their enemies. In John Carter 3, which was set to be titled Warlord of Mars, our hero embarks on a desperate race against time to stop the Therns from annihilating the entire planet. The Therns, using their shape-shifting abilities, are wreaking havoc by posing as leaders of various Martian races. Their cunning plan involves manipulating these races into a full-blown war against each other, buying them the time they need to execute their destructive scheme. Meanwhile, Deja's not just sitting around. She's been hard at work inventing a device designed to detect the worms in their various disguises. But in true villainous fashion, the Therns stay one step ahead and manage to destroy her device before it can make a difference. Things take a dark turn when the Therns manage to kill Taylor Kitsch's John Carter. Or so they think. It turns out that John Carter is just a copy of the real deal who wakes up back on Earth. As the threat of a global conflict brews on Earth, Carter's family clings to hope. They have one remaining Thern detector, and they're determined to use it. Following the trail of the Therns, they make their way to the top of the world, racing against time to prevent the impending catastrophe. Back on Earth, things get pretty wild. Edgar, who's been waiting in the wings, uses his trusty shotgun to fend off some Thern Pinkertons who are after Carter. With Edgar's help, Carter manages to return to Mars just in time. As the specter of a world war looms in the background, Carter and his family press on with their final Thern detector. Their journey leads them to a dramatic confrontation. John Carter, fighting against the odds, eventually comes face-to-face with Matai Shang. It's a high-stakes showdown, and John has to put everything on the line to save the planet from destruction. After a fierce battle, he emerges victorious, not only stopping the Therns' nefarious plans, but also earning the title of the Warlord of Mars. In the end, Warlord of Mars would have wrapped up the trilogy with Carter overcoming insurmountable odds, proving himself as a true hero of Mars. The epic battles, personal sacrifices, and intense confrontations would have set the stage for a thrilling conclusion to the saga. As we know, the sequels to John Carter never materialized because the film was a massive box office flop. With a jaw-dropping production budget of $307 million, even before factoring in tax rebates and marketing costs, the film struggled to recoup its expenses. It only managed to pull in $281 million worldwide, which left Walt Disney Company expecting a staggering $200 million loss. This made John Carter a textbook example of a big-budget box office disaster alongside flops like Waterworld. The disappointing performance of John Carter and its subsequent sequels is a real bummer, especially considering the exciting plans Andrew Stanton had for John Carter 2 and 3. The film's fate highlights just how crucial marketing and branding are to the success of a movie. Sometimes what seems like a minor tweak can end up costing millions. By 2014, Disney had lost the rights to the John Carter property, dashing any hopes for the sequels and leaving Stanton's ambitious ideas on the back burner. The whole ordeal serves as a sobering reminder of how a film's reception can hinge on factors beyond just the story and special effects, emphasizing the importance of strategic marketing and branding in the film industry. But now, it looks like Disney might be ready to give John Carter another shot at becoming a major franchise. Despite its flaws, there's a growing consensus that the film didn't deserve its fate as a box office bomb. Rumors from 2023 suggest that Disney is contemplating a reboot of Edgar Rice Burroughs' epic Martian sci-fi adventure, aiming to transform it into a successful franchise this time around. Although several sources have hinted at Disney's interest in revisiting John Carter, the studio has yet to make an official announcement. Given the enduring popularity of Burroughs' novel, it's not too surprising that Disney would want to take another crack at it. After all, it's not uncommon for studios, especially Disney, with its penchant for live-action remakes, to revive older intellectual properties for new projects. A recent example is the Disney Plus series adaptation of Percy Jackson. The buzz also suggests that if the John Carter reboot does move forward, it would be developed as a series for Disney Plus. While this is still speculation until we hear something official from Disney, it would be a fantastic development for fans who were left hanging after the original film and never got to see the sequels. And here's a juicy tidbit to spice things up. Rumors are swirling that Christopher Nolan might be in the mix for the reboot. If true, that would be a game changer. Nolan's known for his knack for epic storytelling and mind-bending concepts, which could bring a fresh, compelling edge to the John Carter saga. While this is all still in the rumor phase, the idea of Nolan taking on such a massive sci-fi project is definitely exciting. It could turn the reboot into a must-watch event and finally give John Carter the success it was always meant to have. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.